And that is what I tell everybody. If you only have a couple places to go, limited time in Seattle, we're finally at that point right now in Seattle where it's, almost 7 a.m. and it's fully light out. We have made it over the hump of deep winter. I will admit, I'm a huge fan of winter, not a huge fan of summer and the heat. But yesterday, it was almost 60 degrees, and I gotta admit, it was kind of nice walking around with a little bit of warmth. Day's still young. We're just heading to the studio now. Let's kick this day off, see what we get into.
All those other ones?
So the photo studio right now, I wish I could tell you guys a little more about it, but I'll have to check with my manager and see if I can let you know what's up. But we're kind of in a split. We're in a temporary space right now in between while they're making the new studio. And we have to head over to a whole separate area to do like headshots and really large items that we're photographing. So it's kind of it's not too far, a little 5-minute drive down the street. Look at that sunshine though. Yeah, get a quick coffee break on the way. I see the squad. The van is already here. Time to unpack. If you own a Jeep, this is the best place for putting a coffee. However, it's also the best place for forgetting your coffee and driving off. We are on sunset alert right now. See if we can make this. I think we got a burn coming. I'm heading to Rizal. Haven't shown you guys Rizal yet. I wanted to do a more special video for this place because this place is special to me. But sometimes that you just gotta wait on that. We'll just see if we can get this shot. We got like no minutes till sunset. See how polite I am, even when I'm running late. Get a better view. There's a little bit of a glow. But dude, you can just see this light filtering through. Oh man, look at that. Let's see. Oh, what? Where'd the clouds go? From my place, all the clouds are... Oh, man. Okay, what are we going to do here? We might have to pivot. Super clear out. Not good. Not cool. This might not be the shot. This isn't the shot. What the heck happened? Little behind the scenes of a iconic spot. Hole in the fence. Kind of a sketchy location, but cool shot. How we looking? Haven't been here in a couple years, to be honest. Not my favorite location to shoot by myself. One of the mistakes I've made here is shooting this just way too wide. Kind of frame up where you're not showing too much sky, centering up the Columbia Tower there. Get a little chain link in there. Boom. We snagged a few shots I mean, the light's good for this shot just because it's a cool comp. We'll go to the bridge and see if maybe a little blue hour. Not my favorite place to shoot alone after dark. I thought for sure, I mean, you can see those clouds up there. I thought for sure at least those were going to light up. I have no idea how we didn't have a banger at least somewhere tonight because everything was looking perfect. So here we are entering the Rizal 12th Avenue Bridge. Basically, if you were to come to Seattle, maybe your first time or you just only have like a day or two to shoot, I would suggest coming here for this exact reason. So conditions are not optimal. So I'm going to show you guys like the real deal. This is what more or less this or clouds, but we're rolling into blue hour right now. So I'll show you guys what this looks like and why this is a great shot no matter what if you're here for blue hour. Okay, here's the setup. Using a little bit of that. What you want, because I want to get as far kind of over this rail as I can. I used to have a tripod that actually hung over the rail, and believe it or not, unfortunately I've seen cameras go onto there, and actually it fell onto that even further down, so completely disintegrated. Really kind of weird to see. Another thing to keep in mind, this bridge actually wobbles, so it'll shake when traffic. This is a pretty big bus route, so right around now we're going to start shooting some long exposures, so you really got to be mindful of checking north and south to make sure no buses are queued up to start coming down this way, especially when you're shooting like 30 seconds. That'll give you a little wobble in your camera when you're doing a long exposure, so you get a shaky shot. So you gotta have to really shoot a lot of photos here too if you're gonna start coming here in the dark. But yeah, it's I'm kind of surprised to see the place to myself again too. I've seen a lot of first-time shooters come here and drop their equipment. Not a lot of them, but I've seen it happen. So yes, this is a little bit different for probably most. Give yourself a second. Don't just come over here, get on the rail and set up right away. Give yourself a second to assess your whole equipment and all that stuff and make sure your camera's locked into your tripod. And I also make sure to never really walk away from my camera in this spot. Not just for theft, but see, as you can see, here comes a bus. So these guys cruise through here. Right now I can feel the bridge shaking. It's quite interesting, but don't be alarmed, it's normal. All right, let's stop talking and get a shot real quick. To be honest, I've never shot this composition before. I don't know if I love it or if I hate it. We'll see when I get home. Pretty blank right here, but I am utilizing some of these cars. So I have 4 seconds, f11, ISO 80. And if I get a few cars over here, I get light trails kind of from every direction. I don't know if you can see that, but kind of in this zone, all around there. Now the trick is juggling, not making the city too small. I have an ultra wide on, so I'm using a 14 to 30 millimeter. I think I'm shooting at probably 20, maybe we'll call it like 21 millimeters. So I'm shooting really wide right now, which is also dwarfing the city. Not my favorite look. Something I used to make a mistake of way back when I first got a ultra wide. So I'm trying to zoom in, but I don't want to lose this because I really like that line. I might scoot back a little and zoom in more to really help compress the city and keep it looking large. So let's play around. We got a couple shots here. We might shoot another while this sequence of cars comes. Yeah, so I'm really just paying attention to the cars coming down. I have a 2-second timer set up, so I kind of balance that to see. I mean, they're not doing a whole lot here, so I don't know if it's really worth this much space on the side. I don't have the right tripod with me to get the shot that I really want to get, but the way that this road bends, it's perfect. Now, if you're uncomfortable with putting your life savings over an interstate, might not be the best for you. I think we're on our final comp here. But I think we'll take a look at these, see what the light trails in there. I'm getting a flare from this street lamp here, so I've been sort of using my hand to block it. We'll see if some of those shots work. But kind of, there we go, I got one without it. You can really spend a lot of time here just shooting. If you're like me, you get comfortable with walking around your camera more or less. Don't do that here. I always try to keep a hand just around or near my camera. I mean, this setup from Really Right Stuff, this locks. It's a little latch. I mean, I trust it with my life, but you know, accidents happen, so always be very careful if you come here. There's kind of behind the scenes of the place. Quick video on Rizal. I promise you guys I want to do a more extensive video on Rizal. I do want to keep you safe here, show you kind of what to expect, and do a little more in-depth deep dive on Rizal. So well, stay tuned for that. But anyway, this will just give you a quick glimpse at some of what you can get here on a random Thursday night. Blue sky. We just shot Blue Hour, and that is what I tell everybody. If you only have a couple places to go, limited time in Seattle, Rizal for Blue Hour. I'm telling you, you'll get a shot. Just a nice little long exposure, get those light trails. Yeah, it's easy to get carried away and just keep shooting and shooting and shooting here, because the light trails are just really fun to create, and there's always just unique angles, and it opens up more with that. So we're gonna get up out of here and see what kind of shots we got. Another tip. So it's Thursday night. As you can see, what time is it? It's about almost 7 p.m. 6:53 to be exact. Traffic's heavy. See how many building lights are on? If you remember my last video from Somerset, I talked about the importance of shooting Seattle on the weeknights, because you get way more lighting. Got Lumen, T-Mobile Park. I'm not a huge fan of incorporating those, but you know, some people do, and it looks pretty good. It's just they're kind of distant from the city, so you leave a big gap in the sky. The PacMed building back here. Did get some bicyclists. This is a bicycle trail here, so you'll get them coming up through there, bikes and scooters, which is actually nice. They used to not have that. And what would happen is you'd basically be sharing this pathway, and you got tripods just lined all along this pathway. And you're kind of fighting with people walking, cyclists. Scooters weren't a big thing at the time, but I can only imagine how bad that would be if scooters were then. I mean, tripods getting knocked around and whatnot. Parking. Do not leave anything. I mean, anywhere in Seattle, you should be known, but don't leave anything in your car. We were down there earlier, as you can see. That's why you don't want to really be down there in the dark, unless you got a homie with you or something. This, my friends, is why you keep that car in gear. So this is the side of Resolve, Seattle. Yeah, dude, it's real over here. Seattle still needs some work, that's for sure. If you're local to Seattle, cool, you get it. You know the vibe. If you're visiting, all right, all my local Seattle friends, don't press me on this, but this is my honest opinion. You got to be careful there. I've never had an issue. I've had issues in other areas, but luckily Rizal, as many times as I've been there, There's never really been anything too sketchy. That doesn't say that can't happen, and I don't know if I've heard many stories from there, but as you saw, a quarter mile down the street is essentially still one of the rougher situations you can get into in Seattle off 12th and Jackson there. So, I mean, there's been, not to scare you guys, there's just like a lot of stabbings and a lot of drug use, and that's the reality of what Seattle's going through right now, some of the pockets. In my opinion, being here, living downtown for 12 years now, it does feel better than it's been, especially over the last, like, kind of pre-pandemic. During the pandemic was nuts, and then kind of coming out of it, we're getting, a lot of the camps are starting to kind of disappear, at least in my area. But still be mindful. I mean, if you're not feeling it, you've got to just know when to pack up and go, and again too, I know photography can be very distracting, you're focused and everything, and I'm lucky. I've been there so many times. I'm more calm and in tune, I think, with what's going on, but I'm still constantly watching my back when I'm by myself, especially just because, it only takes a second for someone to run up on you. And that's my own paranoia of having some situations in the past that have put me in that mindset. But, and sure, I'm telling you should go here. I would hate for something to happen to someone off of a suggestion that I had. So I just want to give a little disclaimer that although nothing's happened to me before or any of my friends, these locations I shoot in Seattle, it's Seattle. It's still a city. There's things, you read the news, some of it's a little more far-fetched, but you still need to be read the room. That's like the best way I always kind of say, like, how quick can you pack up your gear and just go? But also, I don't know, I haven't played back the video yet, but if I seem a little distracted in my commentary at the bridge, one, it's super loud. Two, it's equipment dangerous. I do not want to lose my gear over that rail. So I was kind of distracted. And three, obviously, just kind of watching my back. But hopefully that didn't read too much and I was able to focus on what I was telling you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's vlog. All right, see you guys on the next one.